And from here, the South Africans are coming next week. We're pushing immigration. So the issue is, we will start with a winning coalition. So if the Uganda Tourism Board, the communications people at President's office, and say another entity agree, we will sign a commitment that we will meet every 2 weeks and say, if there is no Ebola, if there is no corona, right? You should speak something. Don't speak only when there is a problem. Don't speak only emergencies. Tell us what has happened with the flight of Uganda Airlines going to Nigeria or landing to Heathrow, in Heathrow. Speak about the good things, because the bad ones will be spoken for you anyway. You don't need to talk about them. And then finally, we're encouraging Ugandans in the diaspora to be careful what you communicate on social media. While you may live here, you have mother, father, cousin, relatives, your whole life is in Uganda. The conversations which we have on social media almost always inform the actions against us. So it's like someone shooting themselves in the foot but being happy that another person is the one. In the end, we all suffer from negative publicity. It's important that we communicate facts. It's important that you don't circulate what is not credible. You may feel good at midnight by sending that, but so what in the scheme of things? 38 years, when we are 100 years, they'll say, well, they remember that you circulated a lie, or they'll say you solved the problem. A lot of these conversations are from us. Foreigners don't know much about us. They take our confusion and multiply it. So for me, that's the appeal. Thank you.
Thank you so much. If you don't mind, we are going to take a few questions in the audience. But before that, I want to ask Agnes, can you take a few seconds? What you do, why Americans should buy, they're buying your product, I know. What is your plan to increase what you are selling today? What do you need to increase your exports?
Thank you, Mr. Kamandi. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like Chairman said something when he was asked the question why Mr. Olivier found good things in Uganda, but none were known to him. Before I answer his question, I would like to add my 2 cents. I think we are our own problem. We talk too much about the bad, and we don't tell our story of the good. I was talking to a friend in New York, and they were telling me how you don't see the deaths that happen downtown New York and Chicago, that happen every minute. But Ugandans are quick to share when a man hits a woman. That happens in the US every day. And we are slow to share when a Ugandan invests or comes up with a solution. So why are we quick to spread the bad and very slow to talk about our own capacity? So me, I would applaud everyone here. Can we tell our own story instead of waiting for Al Jazeera, CNN, outsiders to come and do documentaries about us? Can we be our own pioneers in pushing the good that our country can give? For the diasporas here, how many people know that your country has the best soil, the best weather, food year in, year out? When COVID hit, no Ugandan lacked food. But we would see news on Al Jazeera where shelves in America were out of grocery. No one posted about that Uganda in COVID still has plenty of food. A bunch of matoke my size was going for 3K. We didn't see that on Al Jazeera. So can we promote the good that our country has? Is my appeal to every Ugandan here. In the neighborhood that you're in, can they know that you're Ugandan and these are the good things about your country? Just that will help us so that when we come to market, they say, oh, my neighbor, Robertson, his country does this and I'm gonna buy it. So that's my 2 cents. I'm Agnes Kitumba. I'm the CEO of Arise Collections Limited. We're a social enterprise business that manufactures, exports high-end fashion, leather and textile goods. So if you're seated next to someone who is holding a synthetic product, or if you're not sure what you're wearing came from, that's what we are trying to ask and answer. Can you understand who made the piece of clothing that you're wearing? Was it ethically made? And did your purchase contribute to community development and economic development? Economic development of your country. So we are a social enterprise business that is fully profit-oriented. However, we add impact in our mission. How do we do it? For those that have lived in Uganda or studied in Uganda, we know that in our education system, we study up to senior 6 and wait 10 months before we enroll into university. We work with youth during their senior 6 profession to train them, skill them, and do career guidance so that they are ably equipped when they go out into the world. That is our social impact. How do we equip youth so that they can ably understand why they're on this earth as they pursue higher education? When it comes to our economic development, I was really energized by Chairman's target, which is not Chairman's target, but our country's target of 6 billion in trade and exports. That is a very small number, but we'll begin with something because we don't have any. In my sector that I'll speak about, the US alone is the largest importer of leather or fashion products. They are at $163 million of imports. So that means if my company just focused on the American market alone, they would be able to promote our exports worldwide. I mainly use leather and textiles because annually Uganda slaughters about Mr. Amos can correct me, about 17 billion cows annually are slaughtered.
17 billion what?
Yes, 17 billion worth of cows are slaughtered in my country.
Dollars, UG.
Dollars. Where?
Dollars
No, it's
high.
UG. Yes, it's UG. And we are asking, where do those hides go? If you're looking at statistics, we export 95 of that semi-tonned to China. And what do we do in the end? We import 90% of our fashion, and this time not the natural leather, but synthetic shoes, handbags, and fashion. And these are things that last 3 months, 1 month. So both import-wise and export-wise, we are doing a disadvantage to our own country, that we are exporting our hides and bringing back cheap items while using our own money. So my company and others in this sector are trying to answer that using our own natural, readily available resource, that every family, I would say maybe at 98%, they have a cow. How do we move them to not just rearing this cow as an emergency fund, but as a sustainably raw material that can give us beef and a hide that can turn into sustainable fashion? Close to date, we've only been able to export a very small limit. Last year, 2022, we hit $1 million worth of exports, and that is very small compared to the US market that is a 1.5 billion. A rice did a drop in the ocean of that. So we have a long way to go. Thank you.
Thank you so much. By the way, the creative industry is one of industries that US investors are really interested to invest in Africa, such as arts, textile, entertainment industry, movie, film, all of those things. I think we can leverage as not just Uganda, also across the continent of Africa. You're on the right industry. So the same question.